We're learning more about the identities of the 3 suicide bombers as Turkish police unravel what could be a growing terror network. I'm Jonathan Vigliotti outside Istanbul's main airport. I'll have the latest coming up.
As the investigation continues into the dozens of horses found left abandoned at a Mercer County farm, the state has issued an arrest warrant for a well-known horse trainer.
We're working to get more information on a deputy-involved shooting in Knox County that happened right in front of a child. The latest coming up.
This is WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. A Knox County deputy sheriff and constable are on administrative leave this midday after an officer-involved shooting in front of a child.
30-year-old Jesse Mills of Flat Lick was gunned down by police on Kentucky 223 east of Barberville around 11 o'clock last night. State police say Mills was accused of kidnapping the child. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is in Knox County with the latest on the investigation, and that is our top story at noon. Caitlin.
Kentucky State Police just finished taking pictures along Highway 223 in Knox County where they say a deputy shot a man. It happened just feet away from a child they say that man had taken from a home. There isn't a sidewalk or a median and the road is rather windy. This is where police say a man was walking with an allegedly kidnapped child late Wednesday night. Police got a call to a home a couple miles off Highway 223. They were told an intoxicated man had taken a child and left the home. We're told that man was 30-year-old Jesse Mills, and that's when police found him walking along the highway. There was a scuffle. That's when police say a Knox County Sheriff's deputy shot Miles. He was pronounced dead at the scene by the coroner.
Just let you know how vulnerable we all are, how dangerous the job can be at times, and the dangers every officer that puts a uniform on goes out here every day and does.
State Police is investigating. In Knox County, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Caitlin, thank you. So far, police have not released the names of the deputy or constable involved in that shooting.
A well-known trainer is wanted this midday, accused of abandoning dozens of horses on a central Kentucky farm. According to the Department of Agriculture, Maria Burrell is charged with 43 counts of animal cruelty. Her father, Charles Burrell, is facing the same charges. WKYT's Hillary Thornton has the latest on the investigation in this Crime Tracker report.
Investigators here at the state's Department of Agriculture confirming they have issued an arrest warrant for a well-known horse trainer after dozens of horses were found left abandoned on a Mercer County farm. Maria Burrell seen in this video from a story on the horse Run Happy that she trained winning last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint. Burrell now facing 43 counts of animal cruelty charges her father Charles also faces. He was arrested yesterday. Investigators say he owns the company that is leasing the Mercer County farm where the horses were found. State veterinarian Dr. Robert Stout says Burrell was actually on the farm when they went out to start their investigation at the beginning of June. Dr. Stout says he seemed to be at the farm periodically. However, after their assessments and investigating, they determined illegally the 43 horses had been abandoned, lacking adequate food, water, and care.
There was not hay and feed available on the farm. There was not management on the farm. There were not even personnel on the farm to oversee the care of the horses. We found 3 horses that were in what we would deem to be a very poor and even possibly critical state. There were some others that were not that bad, but still below what would be any kind of an industry standard.
Well, the state has been monitoring and caring for these horses since their investigation started. They say the one good thing to come out of all of this has been the tremendous outpouring of support and volunteers stepping in to help. Now, all but 6 of those horses are being cared for at the Mercer County farm. Those other 6 who did need a little bit more care are at the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation farm in Lexington. In Frankfort, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. And Dr. Stout says he's unaware of any contact officials have been able to make with Maria Burrell since the warrant for her arrest was issued.
The death toll has risen to 43 after this week's airport attacks in Turkey. Police rounded up dozens of suspects overnight, believed to have ties to ISIS. Jonathan Vigliotti has the latest from Istanbul.
Turkish media reports these images captured by security cameras show the faces of the bombers who unleashed panic and devastation on Istanbul's Ataturk airport. This is reportedly one of the killers inside the terminal and another suicide bomber outside, dressed in a quilted coat in the middle of summer.
I heard the blast, so I thought there must be some bomb because then shooting.
Thomas Kemper was among passengers who raced for a place to hide.
It was very terrifying, especially as you have these images. The bomb went off, okay, you're still alive, but now they come and shoot you.
Despite security here at the entrance to the international terminal, two of the attackers forced their way in armed with guns and grenades. Turkish security guards shot one of the attackers near passport control before he detonated his device. A U.S. intelligence source says the taxi driver who dropped off the bombers at the airport told investigators he didn't recognize the foreign language the men were speaking. Turkey's president says the killers were not Muslim and have, quote, prepared their place in hell. Police arrested more than a dozen suspects overnight at ISIS hideouts across Istanbul, but the terror group has not yet claimed responsibility. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Istanbul, Turkey.
And CBS News has also learned that investigators are using DNA to identify the men and are scanning social media to see if official ISIS networks are taking credit for the attacks at the airport in Istanbul. The all clear has been given here at midday at the Joint Base Andrews Air Force Base near Washington, D.C. It comes after a report of an active shooter today. The military post went on lockdown about 9 o'clock this morning. A law enforcement official says no active shooter was found. The base is home to Air Force One.
There's a fall-like feel in the bluegrass this midday with temperatures in the 80s under sunny skies. But big changes are heading this way for the July 4th holiday weekend. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center with a look ahead. Micah?
Well, it's been incredibly nice for today. Once again, kind of back-to-back days, jumping off and piggybacking on yesterday. Yesterday was great. Today's great. I see no problems. We're in the 70s right now. We'll actually finish off in the lower 80s. But then we get up towards your weekend. Tomorrow, you'll start to see that change in the sky. You will have a chance of rain tomorrow. It's not a great chance, but it is there. And also on Saturday, too. But those are smaller chances. Then you get towards Sunday and off into your 4th of July holiday, and that's when it gets pretty stormy. Now, we'll have some heavy rain, but are we expecting any severe weather with any of these days in the forecast? I'm going to go over that, and I'm going to show you when you need to plan out your events coming up in just about 5 to 10 minutes.
And we'll see you then, and thank you, Micah. The Lexington Humane Society has been overrun by cats and is now asking for the public's help. The kitten boom is normal for this time of year, but it's starting to take a toll on the shelter, which relies on adoptions. As WKYT's Rebecca Smith reports, there are some things you can do to control the cat population.
Right now, the Lexington Humane Society is over capacity when it comes to the cats and kittens they have. So that means they're running some specials in case you're interested in adopting.
They see an increase in cats in their care at the Lexington Humane Society, especially mothers and their kittens. Warmer weather typically means an explosion in the cat population. That means getting a cat or kitten right now is more affordable with the shelter running specials.
All of our cats are fixed before they are put up for adoption. They're up to date on vaccinations, and we have lots and lots of different shapes, sizes, colors, ages. So we encourage you to come out and visit not only our kittens but our adult cats.
And we do have information if you're interested in adopting a cute little cat or kitten on our website, WKYT.com. We'll have some pricing there for you. In Lexington, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. Kittens are $39 right now, and select adult cats are priced as low as $1. The Humane Society has locations on Old Frankfort Pike and at the Hamburg PetSmart. Funeral arrangements have now been announced for the founder of the Southland Christian Church. The Reverend Wayne Smith started that mega church, which later moved to Jessamine County back in 1956. It has since become the largest church in central Kentucky and has campuses on Richmond Road and in Danville. Reverend Smith was 87 years old. His visitation will be held next Tuesday and Wednesday at Southland Christian on Harrodsburg Road, and his funeral will also be there next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Well, Dollywood's new lightning rod roller coaster could soon be reopened.
Right now, it's going through technical ride rehearsals after some parts were recalled, forcing it to close just a week after it opened. Lightning Rod is a $22 million investment for the theme park and is said to be the world's fastest wooden coaster. Well, some bad news for country music fans. Trace Adkins' concert next month in Eastern Kentucky has been canceled. Officials with the East Kentucky Expo Center in Pikeville say the promoter of Adkins' concert pulled the plug on the July 15th show because ticket sales were slow. Refunds are available for fans who bought tickets.
A front runner in the race to replace David Cameron as Prime Minister of Great Britain has pulled his name out of the running. We'll have the latest coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, the Academy of Motion Pictures is seeking to reaffirm its commitment to diversity in the wake of the Oscars' So White controversy. We'll explain next on WKYT. Welcome back to WKYT News at Noon. A race is officially underway in the United Kingdom over who will replace Prime Minister David Cameron.
A decision being watched around the world. Former London Mayor Boris Johnson was a front runner for the position after successfully leading the campaign that led to the country's exit from the European Union. But he says he will not be a candidate for leadership of the Conservative Party. Homeland Security's Director Theresa May and Justice Secretary Michael Gove have announced their intentions to run for Cameron's post. Cameron announced his resignation last week right after British voters decided to leave the EU. Police officers in Cleveland will be having body cameras affixed to their riot gear during the Republican National Convention next month. Taser International says it will loan 300 mounting units to the city that will allow officers to attach the body cameras to their riot gear to record interactions between police and the public. The company says the offer was not solicited by the city. The 4-day Republican convention begins on July 18th. Well, West Virginia native Brad Paisley, a country music superstar, has started out a crowdfunding site to raise money for flood victims, and he is kicking in $100,000 of his own money.
Paisley, who was born in Glendale, hopes to bring in $1 million with the GoFundMe account. Meanwhile, Kentucky native Billy Ray Cyrus will be part of a Rebuild West Virginia telethon to be held tomorrow in Bluefield. It will be broadcast statewide and will be carried online. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences is extending invitations to new members in an attempt to bring more diversity to its ranks. The Oscars have been heavily criticized and boycotted over its lack of minority nominees in any of the acting categories the last 2 years. The organization responded by pledging to double its female and minority membership by 2020. 683 actors have been extended invitations, including Idris Elba, Regina King, America Ferrara, Eva Mendes, Michael B. Jordan, and this year's Best Actress winner, Brie Larson.
Chaos and confusion here at Joint Base Andrews after reports of an active shooter. I'm Weijia Zhang at the scene in Maryland with the latest coming up.
Not much going on right now. It is calm and quiet, but we have some storms back to the west of us. When do they arrive? How much of this is going to affect us for our holiday weekend? I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's another one of those days that you just don't want to be inside. I mean, you want to get outside and enjoy the rest of the afternoon because there really aren't any problems. I mean, low humidity, also those temperatures in the 70s right now will finish off in the lower 80s. Some will actually be in the upper 70s. Jackson, we're 74 degrees. Yeah, more likely you're going to top out around that 79, 80 degree reading. Frankfurt, more likely 82, 83 degrees, and that goes for Lexington too, and the London-Corbin area. But it still looks really good. Low 80s for most, and mostly sunny skies. No problems going off into dinner time. If you're heading out to eat, sit out on the patio. Patios will be packed. It looks good, feels good. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, starting off in the upper 50s, lower 60s. But look what happens tomorrow. I've been talking about these changes in the forecast. Here comes a few rumbles of thunder. Now, tomorrow's not a great chance of rain, but we're still looking at that possibility of a rain chance in there. If you're trying to shoot off some fireworks, the best chance for tomorrow of seeing a couple of rumbles of thunder during firework time around that 9-10 p.m. time frame, which that is so late just thinking about it, saying it out loud. But that 9-10 p.m. time frame, the best chance of rain during that time, southeastern Kentucky, and that's still relatively small, 20-30% at that time. But then we head off toward your Saturday. Saturday, very small chance of rain too. You're talking 20-30%. Most of us will be just fine on Saturday. I don't see much of an issue. Sunday, Monday, that changes. And it's going to change for the worse because we start to see some rounds of showers and thunderstorms. And notice I said rounds of showers and thunderstorms. This isn't one big mass of rain that's going to be sliding on in, which tells you you will have breaks here and there on Sunday off into Monday. So it's not going to be an all-day thing where you get rain and rain and rain and don't get any breaks. You will get breaks. Look here on the screen, 1 to 3 inches of rain for most, but I do want to point this out because this is very, very crucial number right there, 7 days. Next 7 days, not next 1 or 2, next 7 days. That means 1 to 3 inches of rain in the next 7 days. That's just beneficial rain to the yards. It's not really a flood threat. I mean, when you spread it out that long, it's actually really good rain to the yards, gardens, and whatever you have going on. So, yeah, this is some good rain coming, but it's not really going to dump all at one time. And we'll just get it a couple of days, Sunday and Monday. That is your best chance to actually pick up the heavy rain threat. But for most part, if you're trying to make some plans, Friday, Saturday, not all that bad. Remember, you can still have a passing shower or thunderstorm, but Sunday and Monday, those look like pretty ugly days on those 2 days.
More than passing.
Yeah, more than passing. You might get one after another, and that could turn out to be pretty treacherous for some of those plans.
Gee, thanks, Micah.
I know. Very bad news. We talked about that this morning.
I know, and he hates it. He hates
it, but somebody's got to do it, right?
Well, at least people know, right?
That's right.
All right, thank you. We're coming back on WKYT. One of America's most decorated athletes will be going for gold once again.
And a former Wildcat talks about hitting the lottery. Dave Baker's next with sports.
And let's check stocks as we head into afternoon trading. Once again, the Dow and the other major market indicators are way up.
You know, this whole NBA draft thing, it's kind of a funny deal. Jamal Murray didn't even work out for the Nuggets, but they made him the overall 7th pick in the draft. Denver introducing their draft picks yesterday, including Murray, who gives the team some options at the guard spot. Even though most believe that Emmanuel Mudiay will be on the point, everybody that is except for maybe Murray.
No, I haven't gone on the court yet, so no, we'll see. It's a toss-up, you know, what our coach needs and stuff, but I'm available to play, you know, the one or the two and, you know, get things done either way. 2 years ago, I was a point guard. You know, I wasn't as well as coming off screens as I am now, or catching and shooting as I am now. So now I'm a better 2 guard. So I'll be able to play off of him, and he'll be able to play off me as well.
How about that? Well, he's had his highs in the water and his challenges away from the sport. But believe it or not, Michael Phelps has qualified for his 5th Olympic Games. Phelps held off a challenge from Tom Shields. But most of all, it was a challenge of whether or not he could challenge himself as he went on to win the 200-meter butterfly at the U.S. swimming trials last night. The most decorated athlete in Olympic history held up all 5 fingers on that right hand afterwards to signify his 5th trip to the Summer Games. Mom always there. What a great sight. Well, this weekend, Joker Phillips was in town for the Children's Charity Golf Classic. Little did we know that he had a new job. He's back in the college ranks with Ohio State. We're told he's in charge of advanced scouting for the Buckeyes. Didn't know they had that. Joker spent last season as receivers coach with the Cleveland Browns. Prior to that, he was on the Florida staff as receivers coach and recruiting coordinator after his tenure as head coach at Kentucky. And Colts quarterback Andrew Luck has signed the richest contract in NFL history. It's a 6-year, $140 million deal. And the new contract, it's $87 million guaranteed. Luck is coming off an injury-plagued 2015 season. He suffered a lacerated kidney. Wow. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, former Wildcat Darius Miller, who will be inducted into the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame next week, TJ Walker of Rivals.com, and Jimmy Belanger, the new pitching coach for the Wildcats. That's all at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, that's a look at sports on this Thursday.
Buzz, we thank you very much, and we hope you'll keep it here. A lot more coming up in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
Police are cracking down on unsafe drivers this holiday weekend.
I'm Phil Pendleton in Pulaski County at 12:30. Police here have a new vehicle description of a driver they're looking for in connection with a hit-and-run accident.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $415 million, and tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is $243 million.